Family harm is our nation's shame. 150,000 call-outs every single year.
Initially, the board were a little cautious around this and struggled a little bit to connect it to health. But of course, when we pointed out the fact that we'd gone from medical provision to medical and psychological and wellness provision, the next logical step was to address the social determinants of health. And so this initiative was then adopted by the board as to address equity with regards to supporting and bridging the gap for those who are experiencing those difficulties. Initially, as the name suggests, it was for Indian referrals, but actually within weeks there were floods of Pacific and Maori coming through, and to date, over the 2,700 families we've supported, well over half are Maori and Pacific, and actually half are unemployed. It's a multi-agency approach, one that has caught the attention of the Joint Venture Family Harm Unit in Wellington, and that is imbued with the task of addressing equity issues around housing, the various multiple social determinants that go into supporting Maori and Pacific.
The reality that Gandhi Nivas saw a gap in their community. They identified a problem and they came up with a solution, and the government, the police, initially came in behind to support that, and then ACC, and now we are seeing the results.
I'd like to tell you about one particular gentleman that his wife was pregnant and she just said that's enough. And so she rang the police and he got very angry at that. So he came to the home at 11 o'clock, very, very angry, not understanding why she had actually rung. He knew he was angry, he knew he had snapped, but he just couldn't understand why she rung. After the counselling service, and the biggest question the counsellors get asked from people is, can you get the men to talk? And they always answer, I can't shut them up. Because no one's ever asked them why did they do what they did. No one's ever actually listened to them. And that's been our biggest strength.
Having read the report, we understand that, Ranja, you have, let's be honest about this, you have saved lives. 2,500 men have been through this program, 60% don't go back to reoffending. And not only has it saved lives of women and children, but it's also saved families. It's testament to the fact that the government recognises that this is a huge issue that we really have to get on top of.
For men to ask for help is very hard, and so if we break that barrier, it's so important. A few months ago, he actually came to the home to tell the counsellors, first time in 11 years I've got a job. First time in 11 years I am thinking about buying a house. Can you give me some budgeting advice?
One of the things that really strikes me about Rajna and the team is the ability to innovate, to see a gap, to find a solution and say, we'll make it work.
And when you talk to his wife, she had a 9-month-old baby there. And she says, it's the happiest we've ever been, and I don't see the anger in his eyes anymore, which is a real powerful statement coming from the woman who is then happy to take the men back into their families.